Hey, yo. Welcome back to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs, and as always, I am joined by AIW owner John Thorne. What's up, Thorne?
It's a parking lot podcast now.
Dude, we're trunk podding. And this week
it's like Yellow Wolf, dude. Trunk music. Trunk pod.
I love that. That was a good time. Yeah, Yellow was good. We are joined by half the AIW commentary team, Dustin Alberti. What's up, Dustin?
I'm half of. I could be like a third of.
Yeah,
a quarter of, depending on who's there.
Yeah,
I don't even know if a quarter. You get bumped.
I know. I'm only there because Chase Oliver doesn't like people switching.
I love switching.
I know you do.
I love switching.
So we're gonna do.
Chase Oliver's gonna have to learn how I like to run wrestling and not how he likes to run wrestling.
I try to give him new ideas all the time. He doesn't like my ideas.
Sometimes I give him feedback and I am blatantly ignored.
100% of everything I say is blatantly ignored by him.
We just actually, you and I were just on the phone with Chase. You had a phone call with Chase, and then I fielded a phone call with Chase.
I had a 45-minute call with Chase. How long was your call with Chase?
Only about 20 minutes.
That's not bad.
Only about 20.
I hope he doesn't even have my number.
Oh, boy. But, yeah, you know, always working. Some of us love this business.
Some of us.
Not I. I'm not one of them.
I'm right there with you.
Thorne's had about enough lately. But, yeah, it is the hard sell week.
Ready to close the company on Friday.
I was ready for you to close the company on Friday. I was like, all right, here we go.
It was over. It was over on Friday.
That is my nightmare text.
It was a good run.
Oh, it was over. That was the closest I think I've ever been to really shutting it down.
That was
Friday.
My heart dropped. I told my wife, I go, oh, no. I started drinking heavily. I was like, this is bad. I don't want this to happen.
I looked at my girlfriend. She got excited. She's like, you mean you'll be home more often? I'm like, I guess.
That's
Who
funny.
wants to be home, though?
That's fair.
Yeah. But, yeah, it is a hard sell week. We have an AIW show this week, May 24th at the Temple, Masonic Temple Live. Gauntlet for the Gold 17. It's the 17th time we're going to do Gauntlet for the Gold. How do you feel about that? 17 of these things.
Not great.
Not great.
It's a lot of Gauntlet for the Golds.
You know, going back to the wanting to shut it down Friday, then you start having these fucking introspective journeys through your mind, and you see that graphic, you go 17. There's at least fucking 2 years off for COVID, that we missed. Fuck. And then, Josh Prohibition cut that promo where he said it's been a quarter of a century.
That's a long time.
That was the first time they were in a ring was the show that I promoted when I was 15. So then I go, fuck. Man, I've been wasting my whole, you start thinking you wasted your whole life. And I was like, fuck.
A quarter of a century.
My life flashed before my eyes. And when I watched that promo, on top of all the other shit that we dealt with last week, I was just like, fuck. I don't know. Maybe I should learn how to play chess or something.
I just kept thinking, I'm like, man, AIW, I've had such good times there. If it's over, it's over. I've met some of my best friends.
I was just trying to think, like, man, I need a new fucking hobby.
I'm trying to figure. Pat and I are trying to find a new hobby.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, what do I do? Like, everyone I know like golfs. I'm like, I don't know. That looks hot. It looks hot.
Yeah, hot. And you got to move your body a lot.
Not really.
Uncomfortable pants.
Golf is the easiest sport because you just drive the little cart around. You're only doing work once every couple shots. You're drinking.
Who's a big golfer?
Who? Kaplan?
Swoggle.
Swoggle golfs, huh? Wow.
Who's a big mini golfer?
They call it mini golf.
Who's a big mini golfer? Tim Donst. Tim Donst, world champion mini golfer.
Yeah, I was aware of that. Yeah, he won a world championship from the Fox Kids Network or something.
He was like the Wolf or something like that was his nickname.
That's wild.
Yeah, Tim the Wolf Donst.
That's right.
That's interesting story. Tim Donst, that's a name we haven't heard in a long time.
Might hear it Friday.
Might
never know.
Never know it's going to be in the Gauntlet.
And that was something last year, too, for the Gauntlet. We played all kinds of music. Do you remember just playing random theme songs? You're like, play random themes. Let's see what we can get going
when people were outside.
Yeah, pre-show.
Like we were sound checking fake music.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens music hits. People are like, oh, shit, Kevin Owens in there.
There was one, we played one funny one, and somebody asked about it. They're like, why did I hear so-and-so's music? I remember it was like Summers or something, but we played one on purpose, and then somebody asked me.
Somebody took the bait.
Yeah.
You hear My World hit. Oh, you never know.
I wish.
Oh, man.
don't think we got that in the budget. Especially after last
Ready to
week.
shut the company down.
We do have Kurt Angle coming, which I'm extremely excited for. Kurt Angle, man, that's a name. You sent a picture of one of the 8x10s that you're doing, and I don't know if that was real or a joke.
Oh,
but
that's real.
That's
It had
fantastic.
the logo on it.
Is he allowed to know that? Like, does he have to okay? So I've never really asked this. Do they okay the 8x10s you do? Because I know that like, you do some where you're like, I don't know if they're gonna like this one.
No, I just do it. I don't. I mean, to be perfectly honest, there's a whole contract for the Kurt Angle appearance. I didn't read all the fine print. So,
See, I didn't read any of that.
I know they for sure had to approve the flyer.
All right, because that's I know like when we did the Sandman in Youngstown.
Yeah.
Sam was like, "There's too many of these." Start taking them off. He saw one with Hulk Hogan. He goes, "Who the fuck is that?" I said, "That's Hulk Hogan." He goes, "I was in the ring with Hulk Hogan."
Is
I was like, yes, you were in the ring. He's like, "I don't remember that at all."
Sometimes I just get some like specifically for Pedro and I.
Yeah.
And then like I'll get 10 of them, or something like. But they take up a lot of, they take up like Swoggle always bitches at me. He goes, how many fucking different 8x10s you got? Whatever. Like when we had Kevin Nash, I had him sign a Vinny Vegas 8x10. Like I got a reprint of the WCW like official Vinny Vegas, and he's like, I never signed this as an autograph before. And I said, I don't know, just make it up. It's just for me. I know that you've signed it.
You signed it.
I go, I like it's just going up on my fucking wall. And he's like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm aware that it's real. I'm watching you.
So if anybody wants to make an offer for a 1-of-1 Vinny Vegas.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, 1-of-1 to me.
1-of-1 Vinny Vegas autograph.
Unless anybody else bought it that day, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But I got mine at the end of the night, and they had not to that point.
Not a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I leave here, I'm probably going to place the order for the 8x10s. So that's the only one I actually looked at because Jesse the Mark, who does all of our graphic design, cheap plug. If you're looking for some graphic design, hit up jessethemark@gmail.com. But he sent me that one specifically, when he was working on them. So I figured everyone would get a kick out of that, which apparently you did by the
It was good.
by the way you guys brought it up. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm scared about it. I don't know. It's all very nerve-wracking, because this is by far the biggest, the biggest undertaking we've taken as far as, bringing in one of these guests. We've never had somebody, arguably, you can make arguments for Hall and Nash and stuff like that, but like, based on where we are, like in this stage of the game, like I've talked about fee increases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is by far, this is a big boy purchase as far as meet and greets go. So I'm nervous about it. I hope that we have a nice run on those mezzanine tickets this week. And I think for the first time ever, I know we dabbled in it one time when we tried to do that convention, like day of. But, we're allowing people to pre-purchase their meet and greets because I know sometimes people show up and, they don't have cash or, don't know necessarily how it works. So we are, you can find that on all the AIW socials. You can pre-buy your Kurt Angle meet and greet.
I think it's great, too, because then you kind of know. I mean, hell, if you buy it right now, that's this week's money. Then when the show comes next week, that's a whole other set of money. You already,
That's this week's problem.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Get that out of the way.
I actually had that talk with Stacy Silvers today because if you're on the Patreon, the tickets for Absolution and our SummerSlam weekend event went on sale a few days ago. And he was just like, man, he's like, I'm $500 fucking less rich. He said something,
in the hole here.
something like that. And I said, yeah, but if you think about it, like, there's no more tickets to really buy. So, like, you're set through, like, the fall, pretty
You don't
much.
have to spend any money now until
It's like a payday.
we
It's
decide
like
to run again.
AIW's like a payday loan. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna give us your money now, and you're gonna get it back later.
Yeah, I mean, because really, if you really think about it, this card, we always joke and say the hard sell podcast, whatever, yada yada. But I mean, this week you look at the card. This is a historic, monumental card. You got a guy like Kurt Angle, like you said, one of the biggest meet and greets we've ever done. But you got J Pro, final match versus M Dog, a 25-year feud, that's gonna finally come to head.
And honestly, we wanted to make it one less match, and it just, I don't know, like it just didn't work out that way. and with, just how big the card is and, how big we hope the crowd can be, we wanted to add a little bit extra. So there's actually 10 matches on the show. Mm-hmm. One is going to be a pre-show, 8, matches, and then the Gauntlet. So we're really over-delivering, and there's also, of course, surprises booked for the Gauntlet and all that stuff. So I don't know, just trying to go all in as far as, building that momentum as we head towards not only Absolution, but now this SummerSlam weekend, which, the hope is we can continue growing like we've done. We saw immense growth after the long layoff from Jaylit to Terror at the Temple, and then from Terror at the Temple to Tougher Than Leather, we saw an increase. So now our hope is to, beat that at Gauntlet, beat that at Absolution, and then kind of hit that peak, so to speak, that SummerSlam weekend when, there's hopefully going to be all kinds of wrestling tourists and all that in here. So, if you're listening to this, which you probably aren't, but hopefully you are.
I hope you are.
Make those plans to get into town Thursday night for AIW, Thursday at 7:30, August the 1st.
I'm excited for the Thursday show back again. We dabbled in the club Thursdays. Our smaller.
It's going to be a little different.
This is a real show Thursday.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So we're going to get a big time show on a Thursday, on a big time wrestling weekend to kind of kick it off. It reminds me of back when we did New Jersey WrestleMania weekend, and we had AIW on the Thursday, and then the preceding shows following the rest of the weekend. But it's just going to be a big week, and like John said, if you spend your money now, you're not going to have to worry about it for the rest of the summer. Get in there, get in early, get your tickets, and
Yeah, the only other thing that we would have on sale between now and the end of the summer would be Rager, which is going to be a cheaper ticket anyway.
It's going to sell out immediately too.
Last year did like the first day, didn't it? Go like all the tickets sell like the first day.
A lot of them sold. A lot of them sold.
I want to
quick.
say it was like 90%.
Because you have a capped capacity at that. In that space. So
unless you're sitting in the window with window guy.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that they sold that house for like $500,000.
Oh, it's crazy.
I think it's like crazy remodeled.
It's like an 11-bedroom like mansion. Yeah, that house is crazy. It's wild. It's wild in there. I used to go in there before it was like renovated, like you're saying, and it is a large house.
Yeah, they used to have concerts and shit in there in the basement, like house shows.
Yeah,
not like wrestling house shows, like band house shows.
Basement shows.
Not apartment wrestling.
No, not apartment wrestling.
No.
But yeah, getting more into this card, I want to talk about, the match between J-Pro and M-Dog. This is a match that's been taken around all over the world, really. He talked about it on that promo that he put out. They've been from the backyards of Brecksville all the way to, Japan and back. How many times have you think you've seen these two go at it in your 25 years of wrestling?
Countless times, probably.
Yeah.
Almost. Because, it's like, it also happened in various combinations through tags and six-man tags and, singles or, multi-man, 3-ways, 4-ways, all that stuff. So I've seen them wrestle so many times. And it's crazy to think because, for a long time, Josh Prohibition was always a guy that said he would never retire. He would always, do like 1 or 2 a year for the rest of his life. Yeah. And, I think Father Time is undefeated, right? Like, I think a lot of those years started catching up to him. And, he has 2 young kids. And, I think he started kind of weighing those pros and cons of, being able to, function, still as they grow up. And I think a lot of that kind of weighed on him. And he just kind of, hit me with, I think this is it, a couple months ago. So, I said, all right, well, write your story on the way out. You know what I mean? And that's what he's done. And this is how he wanted to end it. He wanted to actually end it in April, but I talked him into kind of extending it so he got beyond that 25-year mark.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy, I've seen it so many times. It does not feel like 25 years, but, apparently it has been 25 years,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I've mentioned on some social media, I don't remember which one it was, just kind of growing up in Cleveland, even like not being part of independent wrestling for the long period of time of it, but like you knew who they were. Like
they were the guys.
If you were a backyard wrestler in Cleveland, Ohio, you knew you could be a wrestler because those two were backyard wrestlers.
Well, that was the thing. That's like the whole other kind of layer to the onion that's crazy is like for a time, and there's a lot of people that probably are totally unaware or too young, but they were like kind of pseudo famous in a way. Like they were on, those commercials that aired nonstop
for the video.
The video they were on.
Backyard.
Was it Sally Jesse Raphael? Was that what they were on?
Josh was on Oprah. Josh was on Oprah. Josh did a bunch of shows. He was on Oprah. I think he was on Jenny Jones.
That's what I'm thinking, Jenny Jones.
He was on Moral Court.
Wow.
He was on.
They were on everything. Like that's, like I said, I just remember like being a kid from Cleveland, going, "Oh, these dudes wrestle in backyards in Cleveland. I do the same thing."
And not to mention all of just the local news stories that were made about them.
I remember Scene Magazine did like they got like a front page and like a full spread.
Yeah, like they were like in so much stuff, and especially like in those early 2000s, they're, barely 20, 21 years old, so they're young, they're just getting all this coverage, just like, and they were both kind of from that punk rock, just mindsets, and they were just fucking everywhere. I mean, and, they went on to, be on the cover of the video game.
Being in both video games.
In both video games.
On the cover,
and on the cover of the first one, then, they got their own kind of, I know Justice Summers is going to appreciate this, but they got their own kind of like jackass, like
DVDs. I have that.
Passion for Pain.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where they did like skits and stuff, and, it was like just total, like, for the time, like jackass stuff with backyard wrestling and going downtown and like pranking people and doing all kinds of
the party box.
Yeah, doing all kinds of weird stuff. And
we should get that DVD and put it on at the after party.
I have.
Play it.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
We got to put that on.
You got to find an after party first.
That's
well,
true.
yeah, that was going to.
If you're looking to sponsor an AIW after party,
because
we'll bring the business.
Yeah, we need to bring some business. But yeah, just it's really an incredible story. In I think just. I don't know if sad's the word, but, the fact that they had all of this kind of early pseudo fame and, had gone on and traveled the world, and they just really, neither of them, and M-Dog's going to remain active, but, neither of them really got that big, that big moment on a major stage in pro wrestling. M-Dog has had, different kind of, spurts here
Tough
and there,
enough.
right? Or
Lucha Underground,
Wrestling Society X,
But
yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just bittersweet to think about. You know what I mean? That they're gonna wrap it up, and I think that if you've ever followed Cleveland independent wrestling, regardless of anything, you should be in attendance on Friday night to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was kind of going to say. Like, if you're tied to this at all in any way, you've ever came to any independent shows or you've ever been through AIW, this is the one to come check out. Gauntlet is always a great show. Just the Gauntlet match is just always fun. But, it's time to pay some respects to two Cleveland legends. One of them's going to hang it up, and this match is, you're not going to see this ever again. I kind of was thinking that, to you, I feel like it's probably a pretty big honor to you to put this on and, give them a place to kind of, to do this. You do a lot of things like with the JT Lightning tournament, and, we do the Bill Alfonso tournament, and you kind of feel this sort of, not pressured, not the word, but like there's a bit of on your shoulders to kind of keep this Cleveland independent wrestling thing going.
I think it's just showing them the proper respect.
Right.
Yeah. I do think, my old guy is going to come out and just say I think some of that is lost. You know what I mean? Just just general respect for things, regardless of whatever. You know what I mean? And I think that Josh has earned that more than anybody really.
Right.
for me, it's kind of crazy because, in 1999, I called this phone number and I talked this guy in to let me rent his wrestling ring. And then, I got the yellow pages and I started calling venues or gyms for rent. There used to be like a holes for rent section of the yellow pages, and called this place, and they gave us a price and agreed to it. And then I was only 15, so I couldn't sign for it. So Wadsworth was 18, so he went and signed for it. And then, we kind of collected money from people to participate, Josh and M-Dog included, at the time, because they were just two random guys that I was in the same grade as Josh's little brother, Steve, and he had kind of started passing this VHS tape around to people when we were in 9th grade. So, that kind of was like an inspiration or something to figure out how to do this. And that's what we did. And
was that pretty cool then for you to you get that VHS tape, but then you're also able to kind of get those guys to start working with you and kind of, you have this idea maybe we can rent a ring and, do this, and then you get those two guys on board with you. That's probably pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
As a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah. And from, they were a little older than me. And at that time it was just kind of like a general, we all just want to rent a ring and play in a wrestling ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, no one ever thought we were ever going to get a chance to do it ever again.
You didn't think 25 years later we'd be in the parking lot of a school, getting ready to wrap up a...
No. I mean, that's kind of what's crazy is, I don't really take any sort of credit for being a part of their story, but it is kind of nice that we started the story together, and, Josh is going to end the story together as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. It is, like I said, it's bittersweet. And I remember, that 4 days before that first time we were supposed to get this opportunity, the Columbine school shooting happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought it was, everybody was in on it, and we were passing around these flyers promoting teenage violence for this wrestling event that we were doing. And Josh, who was also 18 at the time, he had to go and as an 18-year-old kid,
it's not that kind of teenage violence.
Put on,
it's professional wrestling.
Put on some nice clothes and go down and talk this venue into allowing us to still be able to hold this event. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy how stuff like that just feels like it just happened yesterday.
Yeah, but here we are 25 years later. Dustin, you've been around Cleveland wrestling a long time. Do you have any, distinct memories of these two kind of going at it? Or how many times have you think you've seen these guys?
Between them teaming together and them facing each other, I've seen them in the ring probably 100 times plus.
Wow.
Just pretty much going to AIW for the most part. And then you have, like I said, I was a big fan of the backyard wrestling DVDs when I was growing up. So I had them. I'd see the infomercials we were talking about earlier, and you keep, like I said, you stick along with it. You see, they're on, like I said, they're on TV. They're in this magazine. They're on the cover of this magazine. They're all over the place.
They were
they were
Spin
everywhere.
magazine.
It was crazy.
They were in all kinds of stuff.
It was people talk about those late night infomercials. That was a whole subculture in and of itself.
Yeah, because that was kind of funny when you brought it up earlier. I was going to say that was teen lore. When I was a kid, we would see those commercials, and I remember somebody was two of those guys are from Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I remember one time somebody was we were at Peabody's, and somebody was that's the guy, that's the backyard wrestling guy. And I think it was Matt.
Yeah.
Probably at a show somewhere, something. But I just remember being oh shit, because when I was younger, I wasn't in independent wrestling or even backyard wrestling. But like you said, you saw those late night commercials, and then it's just teen lore from here, they're from Cleveland, and then I saw that guy at Peabody's once, and then we're at Peabody's, I think I see him, I think that's him. There's just this lore about it.
It's just a product of the times too, right?
Yeah,
of those late '90s, early 2000s, the teen lore or whatever. There was just so much of that stuff, Jackass and CKY, and backyard wrestling, and you know what I mean. Just
there was, it was a lot of controversy, and that was the love of it. It was there's like backyard wrestling, violence, and it's like dudes getting their faces torn up with barbed wire.
That's why I tell these fucking soft ass students they wouldn't have lasted a second.
Not a second in the 90s.
Not a second in the late 90s, early 2000s. But yeah, I'm just, I don't want to turn this into a whole podcast about them, but,
Right.
I just think that, everybody, we drop tickets down, at the temple for those mezzanines to $15. Everybody should just try to come down and let's fucking pack that place. You know what I mean? It's going to be, I want to make it a crazy party, like it's going to be very emotional for Josh. It's probably going to be emotional for M-Dog. It's going to be emotional, for me, I'm sure. I just think it's, let's try to get as many people in there as possible. I will say that, I think that it's going to go on last before the Gauntlet, so... I typically would have wanted to have that title match in that spot, but I think we're gonna switch that out and let Josh and Matt go for as long as they need to go, and then we're gonna get right into the Gauntlet.
Just kind of like you said, the respect thing. If there's if there's anybody that has done anything for professional wrestling in Cleveland, Ohio, it's definitely M-Dog and J-Pro. So come out and show your respect for those two, and let's send them off with a big one and fill the temple. Any other like you just said, you mentioned the title match. That I said this show is insane. You got the Gauntlet match, you got the M-Dog J-Pro, you got a title match that's been talked about for quite a while. These two have done business before and had a match before, and I think both of them are just in very different spots in their career. Even though it wasn't that long ago, I definitely think they're in both spots in their career, and I just think this title match is going to be insane.
Yeah, with Chuck and Broner.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chuck, I've talked about Chuck's just newfound confidence. This is his second kind of go. Broner's kind of mowed through people, and Chuck's turned his way back. And, I think Chuck is certainly going to put up more of a fight this time around, no doubt. I mean, I think it's, that it's only natural for that to happen, the second go. But, we've seen Broner just, really just have some incredible title defenses these last few months. Mm-hmm. Alec Price, the Sam Holloway match I thought was incredible. I think, you're going to see equal kind of growth out of Broner when he gets in there with Chuck Stone, and as well as, see that growth out of Chuck Stone. I think, both of these guys certainly are just as hungry to. I don't even know if saying like carrying the title or carrying the torch for the company is necessarily right, but I think they're both hungry in the fact that they want to be considered legitimate professional wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like, not just the champion of Absolute Intense Wrestling, but I think both of these guys want to be in conversations. You know what I mean? When people are talking about who's the next crop of indie guys. I think these guys want to be in that crop, and I think these guys want to be taken seriously. And I think that's the kind of performance that you're going to see on Friday night. I don't even necessarily, I know I'm supposed to hype it up, but I don't even necessarily know that the title really has anything to do with it, in the fact that I think that they're both coming at it with something to prove.
Yeah, it's the steal the show moment for them.
That's what I think. And
it's put ourselves on the map, like win or lose. You're gonna know. Broner and Chuck Stone had a banger at Gauntlet for the Gold. They're gonna try to outwork any surprise that's in the Gauntlet. They're gonna try to outwork any type of moment that Josh and Matt are gonna have. I think that's their goal, is to just be the best match on that card and be the match that people are talking about.
Yeah, I think Broner has really, in my opinion, put it on big since the match with Price. I think he had a bit of a chip on his shoulder during that match, and ever since then, he's just really been on another level. And like you said, Chuck has stepped it up so immensely, and I think these two are just on a warpath to pretty much steal the show. There's so much hype on this card, and there's so many great matches. There's a lot of things going on. Like you said, there's surprises, there's Gauntlet, there's 25-year feuds, but I think this title match could really be some fireworks.
I think that's going to be the theme of this card. Really, I think I've done a good job in really kind of listening to other people in the last year when we're putting these cards together and getting just different inputs and different perspectives from people. And, I think we've really been kind of on such an upward trajectory as far as the in-ring goes. I know that, we've had down moments like, the last time we were at the Shrine or, the Thursdays. But I think these, quote unquote main shows, at the Temple and at the Shrine, even though it was down, I think that in-ring the bar has continued to rise, and I think that this card is built in a similar vein that has been going on these last few months. And I think that I know that we kind of talked about it a bit last week or joked around about it, but there was kind of an all hands on deck meeting a few weeks ago, and I think that there has been a fire kind of ignited in people to understanding the power of the moment and not taking these these shows for granted, not taking these opportunities for granted, because as you guys know, this thing could end at any second. And I think
which could end last Friday.
Right, which we'll get into it a few months from now probably, but I think that has finally kind of really set in and resonated with the roster, just based on people that are in the know of everything that went down, and just seeing how serious those failed kind of Mercury Lounge shows failed, and not failed but failed, you know what I mean, like they're not total fails, but just not delivering to the expectation.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think it just delivered to our expectations. I wouldn't call it a failure, but
I think people kind of are. There's a car starting, so for people that didn't believe we're in a parking lot,
A real parking lot.
But I think it's finally starting to set in with people, and I think that there is a super motivated crew that is going forward.
I think it will set in with some people too when there's not these Thursday shows to kind of have some spaces to fill, and the bookings get a little more slim. I think people are going to realize they really have to work hard, and that's the biggest thing about wrestling AIW. This
we're doing man on the street right here.
Here we go.
Man on the street.
Man on the street.
Man on the street.
Philly Collins, why are you going to win the Intense title on Friday?
Why am I going to win the Intense title on Friday? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's I got Eric with a 1, 2, 3. I don't want to sit here and go on a big old tangent of cutting this promo or anything like that. I'm going in there. I'm just going to take what Cash and King thinks they have. I'm just going to take it from them. I'm just going to take everything from them. I'm sick of talking. I'm sick of just.
There's going to be a new king, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Phil,
I'm going to be the king.
King Phil.
King Phil.
King Phil.
All hail Caesar.
You've been watching Planet of the Apes, huh?
Yeah, I have been.
I've been watching it on Hulu. I'm trying to get caught up.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's all right. They really make you believe in these fucking apes. Dude.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I saw the backstage stuff, and they were really doing.
You went backstage at Planet of the Apes.
Behind the scenes. Excuse me. I saw that backstage.
Are you Hollywood Phil?
Not yet.
Growing the beard out. Trying to get it.
Not only is he king,
trying to get parts.
Not only is he king, he's backstage at the Planet of the Apes.
I was trying to get a part.
He's getting the gorilla body, getting big.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna be the new king. You're taking everything from them, including the cash, right? Including the cash.
At this point, I don't even want the cash. I don't even want the gold. I just want to put Eric and
it's silver. It's silver. It's silver.
It is silver.
It's gold. It's whatever.
The boot's gold.
Well, I've had gold. I've had
Boots gold.
I've had silver. I've had gold jackets.
Speaking of gold, what about the Gauntlet for the Gold? Are you getting in that?
How many spots are available?
30, brother.
30 spots.
Unless we want to make it 40, like that one big Royal Rumble.
The greatest Gauntlet for the Gold.
About 55.
We could get 40. We could get 40 in there.
We could make
easy.
40.
You think you can get 55?
Well, we might have to bump up some of these kids in there.
Marino's in there taking care of a couple of the young ones.
I can walk in.
I see Melee just pacing over there. I don't know if he's in or not.
Melee, he's getting ready. Don't underestimate Melee.
Always ready.
He did ask me what his creative is going going forward.
Yeah.
He asked me what his creative is going forward for the next few months. I said, I think holding the camera, brother.
I don't know.
I think joining the production team.
I think Melee has a great chance of
Winning Gauntlet for the Gold?
I think he could probably beat me in a video game. I don't know if he's winning the Gauntlet.
Well,
Oh, is that
depending on
the
what
Gauntlet
video
for the
game.
Gold? Is that John Thorne's in Gauntlet for the Gold?
Yeah, I think that's what
I just heard.
I think it could be a.
what it
You never
sounded
know.
like to
Never
me.
know who's
Did
gonna
I
be
just
in it.
fuck it up?
I
Yeah.
think you just.
I think you just blew
said
it.
you're in the Gauntlet for the
I
Gold.
think you just blew it, man.
There's 29 other
99 prop
spots.
bits.
There's 29 other spots up for
Well-
grabs. Maybe Philly has one.
Maybe I am. Maybe Marino has.
You know who
one.
else might have one?
Who else might have one? He's here comes the big man right here.
I don't think he's winning it.
Hello, everybody.
Man on the street. Are you entering the Gauntlet for the Gold?
Yeah, I am.
Is that confirmed?
I'd like to confirm it. Can you confirm it?
Can't confirm
I would think
nothing.
it's confirmed. You're one of the only
Oh,
ones
I'm
on
on
the
the
graphic.
poster. I'm on the graphic.
It's
Yeah,
Sam
I'm in it.
Holloway,
I'm in it.
everybody. Sam Holloway.
Have you
Sam
drawn your
Holloway
number
here.
yet?
I have not. I have not drawn my number.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the other big pressure of the evening? You are the big replacement for Eddie Kingston.
Really?
Breaking
You didn't
news.
know
A little
that?
breaking news.
I mean,
in
I
here?
asked to be it.
Oh, did you? You asked
I
to be
did.
it?
You gotta
because
do a meet-
I mean,
you gotta
I
do
kind
it.
of feel bad for Josh in a way because
I don't
he's
feel
had
bad.
a lot of
I feel bad for you.
cancellations. He's had a lot of cancellations. And I'd love to
You've been
get
in there
with
with
Josh
Josh.
again. I mean, I haven't got in there with Josh in a singles since I debuted.
Yeah,
so
when you almost broke your arm.
I probably he did whoop me.
You know
so
you got to do the meet and greet session now, though. That Eddie Kingston was supposed to do.
That's
Sign
just
in-
going to be a bit waste of both our times.
You have a pair of Tims.
I do have a pair of Tims.
There you
Like,
go.
How many action figures do you think you're gonna have to sign?
of Eddie Kingston's.
Yeah.
I got 3 that I
7.
was hoping to get signed.
You think only 7 people were gonna show up for that meet and greet?
Or are they pre-orders or like at the meet and greet? I mean,
At the meet and greet.
well, they're going to see it's me and they're not going to want an action figure.
That's true.
They're pre-sold, and I'm just gonna pull the old switcheroo and say, you know,
Oh,
Like,
probably
gonna
put Paul in
probably
that
a good
cowboy
amount.
hat?
Gonna put your face on it like Paul London on the Stan Hansen ones.
Yeah.
I mean, if we did that, maybe like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
no, you're not doing the meet and greet, but you are the replacement for Eddie Kingston. Unfortunately,
I'm
maybe.
excited for it. Yeah.
I am excited for it. I don't like this. This was my thought process on it when this whole thing went down. You know, I thought we can do it the way we had to do it last time, which nobody was satisfied with, even though we spent thousands and thousands of dollars. Or we could do it and kind of try to turn this negative into a positive and give 2 of our guys that platform to go out,
Right.
put your money where your mouth is. No other stakes on the line other than delivering a match, right? Like,
Right. And yeah, people were upset last time, and I get people are probably going to be upset this time that it's just me replacing. But I'm looking to prove a lot of people wrong going out there with Josh, and I'm going for this is going to be a match that a lot of people remember. Even though I wasn't supposed to be in the match, I think people are going to remember this match.
And it's, for you, it's kind of a put your money where your mouth is because, you did message me wanting more singles matches.
I did, yeah, I did.
And
You're right.
here you go.
Yeah, it's a singles
this
match.
is
Right place, right time.
Right.
You just happened to message me that when Eddie Kingston had to pull off.
right. That's
So-
what I was saying. I was knocking at the door.
Fresh in my mind. Sometimes it's good to bother me like that. Sometimes it's bad to bother me like that.
I've
So
seen
Sam,
both ends.
What do you do? You're gonna beat Josh, then you're gonna win Gauntlet. That's your plan.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, good luck.
Yeah, I think I would
That's
have a
a
big
tough
night.
night.
I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
have a
it's
big
a long
night.
night.
I'm gonna have a big shock.
Especially when you draw number 1.
That is a tough night at the office.
You draw number 1.
When do we draw?
Right before.
Is it on the? We're doing
Probably.
right before.
I
Yeah.
don't know what's gonna happen.
Sick.
Whatever Chase Oliver decides he wants to do a bunch of backstage promos last minute.
Do we have like a spinny? I don't know what they're called. The spinny thing.
A bingo tumbler?
I know
Yeah, do
that
we have one?
there's talks of getting one.
I don't know.
You
Pedro
can definitely
invested in
find one on
something.
Facebook. Pedro can definitely make one or find one on Facebook Market.
Stop by his house and, and ask him
figure it
what
out.
the situation is.
I will because those be sick for the Patreon and stuff. Just us drawing our numbers or something, or during the half.
Halftime? Last year.
Halftime. You can
Last
tell this
year
guy
was
was a wrestling fan his whole life.
I think we're gonna. The first thing we're gonna do with Big Sam is give him a talking into the mic lesson. If you want to get to the big time, kid, you're gonna have to
Talk
learn to talk
forward with
right
the
into that
microphone.
mic, right here.
Not like this, like this. You talk
Yeah,
like
right
this.
Right in front of
Don't
you.
Don't talk
your mouth.
over it. Talk into that
Into
bad
the
boy.
mic.
There you go.
It's
They didn't-
directional.
They didn't teach you that at the PC yet, huh?
No, I've never been there.
Okay. Wink.
Never been there.
Wink. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Oh,
We
boy.
all saw you on fucking holding that sword.
Yeah, that
was a
was
real
an
sword.
gnarly sword.
It was a real sword.
Doing
I don't think you're supposed to expose that.
doing a run.
They
in
looked
Solo
real.
Sikoa.
I wasn't there, but they looked real. They looked awfully sharp.
Yeah, there's a guy that looks strikingly like you.
Just like
I didn't see him, but I heard he was handsome.
There's another guy that fucking looks like they hired him as security.
yeah,
Looks just like you.
got beat up by Solo Sikoa.
Really?
Which, interesting enough, are you guys aware? I think I said this on the podcast, but are you guys aware that is why Ethan Wright left AIW? He is hired by the WWE.
Yeah.
As security.
Yeah, I think you talked about that on the pod when you guys got those.
That's who escorted us backstage.
Chest.
That's got to be a fun
Ethan
gig,
Wright
huh?
might be in the Gauntlet. That'd be sick.
He might.
Should we
Hear
play his
hear
music?
those violins hit.
People
was
hated
sweet.
that song.
I loved
dude.
Ethan Wright. I don't care what
There's
people say.
been like multiple guys in that what I would call the Ethan Wright spot, and they're always
Tolar.
awesome. Tolar, Sean
Dude,
Schultz,
Tyson Dukes. Oh, Tyson Dukes rules.
Oh man, Sean Schultz. I haven't thought about that
Sean
name in a
Schultz
while.
Sean Schultz is a ref now, isn't he?
I don't know. It might be in the Gauntlet.
Might be in the Gauntlet. Tyson Dukes might be in the Gauntlet.
Who do you hope to see in the Gauntlet? Any surprises that you're looking forward
Who
to?
you hoping for?
Are you hoping for?
Boogeyman?
You're hoping to get in there with?
Are we talking like AIW alums or just in general?
General.
Just general.
Santino Morella.
You hoping Santino? Santino with the
okay.
Cobra?
Wow.
I always want to
That
get
would be-
struck by the Cobra.
That'd be big. That'd be
Almost
big.
He's like a-
beat
he's like a
Jameson one
Rumble
year.
legend, too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He might be in it.
Never know.
I don't know.
What about AIW? Any of your fellow graduates you hope to tangle with in there if they're in?
Hope to get an easy win.
It doesn't have to be one of the three that are currently standing in the parking lot.
You could probably take Melee.
I mean, there's more than Jeff Steele and Alex Melee.
Steele's gonna go crazy.
Oh man, big
real
debut.
deal, Jeff
Real
Steele.
deal. Jeff Steele
Yeah,
making his
real
debut
deal.
in the Gauntlet.
Wow.
I'd like
got
to
my money
kick
on
Derek in the
Caitlyn.
face.
We're gonna get a Superman.
Oh, kicking Derek in the face?
Yeah, I'd
gonna
like to
get-
give him a boot to the face to the outside.
We're gonna get Jeff Steele a gear with a silver Superman logo on it. The real
Just a
deal.
seal on it.
Yeah, Steel. The Superman
He
font.
wants
though.
the Nashers, the long pleathers with the tassels on a singlet.
Okay,
Dude.
that's fine with me.
That would be sick.
It's fine with me.
I don't think he's got the body for long tights with
Yeah,
the
but
tassels.
Steele's the real deal. He can get it done.
That's fair.
What kind of body do you think he's got?
Gotta have those long legs.
What kind of body do you think he's got?
It's
What
gotta
kind-
have the long.
What do you see him in? A
Jeff
butcher
Steele-
singlet?
I don't know I don't know how I see Jeff Steele yet.
Like a revolver underwear singlet?
That'd be nice.
Jeff Steele looks like a guy who'd smoke cigarettes in the ring. I don't know why.
All the best wrestlers just smoke cigarettes.
Right, yeah. I mean, let's be honest.
Maybe that's
ripping
what he
heaters.
Maybe that's what he does.
Just comes to the ring, ripping a heater.
All right, Big Sam. So what do you think? You're beating Bishop?
Beating Josh.
Are
and
you nervous in the least?
Yeah, but I can't be as nervous as the last time I was in the ring with him. I mean,
No.
That's pretty bad.
You've never been on the podcast before, have you?
never. I'm terrified right now.
Man of the. It's the benefit of parking lot podcast.
And then I yelled at him, told him talking to the mic.
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
felt
fucking
really
hate
bad.
that two legs guy.
What were, you
such a hard time.
what were you thinking when you drew that big main event for your first night in the business?
I mean, how
I know how you're feeling afterwards.
inside are we getting?
You can get as inside as you want.
Okay. Terrified. Absolutely terrified because obviously days to your debut, a lot of your people will come in and help the rookies train for their matches. Josh did not.
he
Which
purposely told me he was not
I'm
going to.
Looking back on it, I'm very appreciative for it because now I'm better for it.
Psychological warfare.
He said, "I'm not talking until we're about to go out."
He
Josh
asked
is
me
the
one
How much?
question.
How much psychological warfare do you think I put that kid through in his life?
A lot because I mean I question when his music hit, I questioned why the hell am I doing this? Because he was absolute champ at the time. He's staring. It was like this guy's gonna kill me.
You wouldn't believe what he showed up at this academy looking like. We made a man out of him.
Yeah, I was when I watched film. It was like this. Why am I?
Think pre-film. What do you think
That's what
pre-film
I
was
was saying.
looking
I was
like?
watching like the No Consequences. I'm like, why?
I'm saying prior. I'm saying that,
Beforehand.
that's him on the
Yeah.
way.
That's
I'm
Black.
saying, what do you think he showed up
That's
looking
Black
like?
Betty
I
Fram
don't, know if
Lamb.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. I've seen pictures, never a match.
Wearing his glasses.
You should have. You know, there's a defining moment I think that changed his mindset. It was at I don't know, WrestleMania in Orlando. What year was that? 30? I don't know, 5 maybe 4.
I don't remember.
6. I don't know. WrestleMania in Orlando. He's underage. I get us all on the guest list for Wily Mania, but he's underage. So we go, and he's got a fake ID,
Yeah.
and he's, you know, it's all Ohio. I don't know. He's from fucking Arkansas or something. I don't know what his ID said. The guy goes, nah. He goes, you got to buy this back, and then I'll let you in. And, like, held him up, bullied him into buying his own fake ID back, but he got into Wally Mania.
For how much?
I think it was 20 to $50.
Oh, that's not
bad,
that
Yeah, easy money.
That's not that bad.
For a young 18-year-old with
That's
not a
true.
lot of money.
That's
Josh
true.
Fisher- Josh
That's
Fisher
true.
back then, $20 was a lot of money.
I'd love to see.
I find that as a defining moment. But and then we left him in there. I left. I don't know.
You left him. You left an 18-year-old in Wale Mania.
Yeah, I think I don't. Shayna Baszler. There was people in there that like were watching him. I said, I said, watch him. I said, just watch him. Make sure he doesn't get arrested. And I left. But I find that I think that was the defining moment in his
Growing up phase.
He said, "Fuck, this is never gonna happen to me again."
Yeah.
And I don't think it has.
I don't think
No,
so.
but going back on the topic of me never calling him the match ahead with Josh, I very thankful for it now because now he kind of prepared me for all types of situations. So, thanks.
You were the only one without a choreographed first match.
Not at all. He asked me one question. He asked if I could do a Canadian Destroyer, and he was at.
That didn't happen, did it?
You would never do it.
Never.
I would love to see.
Yes, what's your
hey,
favorite?
kid.
Get what kick out of it.
Hey kid, you do a Canadian Destroyer. How tall are you?
6'6".
6. Hey kid, you do a Canadian. You're only 6'6".
Josh is the best.
It was the same weekend as
Jaylet.
no, the
Yeah.
debut. But when he asked me that question, it was I forget what it was called. I did it last year. The Juggalo thing.
Oh,
Gathering?
The Gathering.
The Gathering, yeah. He asked me, he texted me while he was at the Gathering if I could do a Canadian Destroyer. So
I think we're all fired from the Gathering now. So,
Don't bring it up. It's sad.
I never
sad.
got. I never made it.
well, you should have
I
went last year.
was offered the past 2 years.
it was fun.
I had to be an adult. It was stupid.
I don't know,
Sam made
Dustin-
like $500 for 10 seconds of work.
I don't know if you know this, Dustin, but I went to the
No, it's Pat went. I don't know if he's ever told anybody.
kid. fucking wouldn't
you do
stop talking
can
about
you do
that
a
shit.
Destroyer?
You're Canadian Destroyer.
How much did you get paid for that debut match?
$0.
Why is that?
I know why.
I don't want to air it out
Why not?
because it's mean. I mean, has it already been?
Yeah, because Vic Vice
definitely
asked for
told
I
money.
think it's been talked.
Who asked?
Vic Vice asked for double pay.
That's
'Cause he
right.
was working
yeah,
both shows.
I said, now nobody's getting paid.
and then you guys got Bob Evans with our money. I think.
Well, we got Bob Evans with the Wrestle Rager money from Mikey Montgomery for like 2 years.
that's-
Yes.
yeah.
That's true too.
No, but we never saw it. But it was.
I say we get
Doesn't matter.
we get
I
food
still,
with
I don't think you,
Battis's
any of you
envelope
guys should
this
still
year.
get paid, but that's Pedro's. Pedro fucking head of the Wrestlers Union pushes that.
I don't bring up my pay at all.
Yeah, I don't even
I don't
get
even
paid.
let,
I don't know what
let
you're
Thorne
talking
know.
about.
I pay
I try
you?
not to let Thorne know that I get paid.
I didn't know.
I'll give you the
Man, fuck. I saw him.
get the hometown rate.
I saw him give Wadsworth an envelope. I said, I thought we just paid this guy in concessions.
Dreams.
What happened to
In
those
dreams.
days? Those were the days. Nobody got paid, but everyone just got free beer and food.
Yeah, I bring my own of both of those. All right.
We just bring lawn chairs out here and just hang.
Yeah.
We're trunk podding.
Trunk pod,
We're
dude.
trunk podding.
Okay.
What else we got on the show though?
What's going on?
Yeah, there's some more. We do have another title match. We kind of alluded it to a little bit with Philadelphia Collins here. There's an intense title.
Oh,
We got another man on the street coming
man.
up.
Another possible entrant.
Are you possibly entering the Gauntlet for the Gold on this Friday?
I mean, it'd be the coolest thing if I did.
The coolest thing.
Be pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Andy Cool Ass, everybody. Cool Ass Andy.
Andy cool ass Andy.
You already know.
However you spell it, it all equals
Couple
the same.
Z's, couple dollar signs.
You know, depending on how you read.
yeah.
I want to paint a picture for everybody here. Cool ass Andy.
He's just cool as fuck.
He's dressed cool as fuck. He has a Bam Bam Bigelow flame like
But blue cool flames. Blue flames.
Cool blue.
blue flame
Tucked in.
button up t-shirt tucked in. What do you got? You got a fanny pack or is that some kind of
This is a
It's
belt.
just a belt.
This is a
Got
cheap
cargo pants
He's got
on. though.
cargo. He doesn't
Got
need a
those-
fanny
Don't need a
pack,
fanny
yeah.
pack. Got those extra pockets.
Yeah, you got probably cool shit in those pockets. I
Yeah,
bet.
what's this? What is this lanyard?
You got
Just
a
a key.
a lighter in there or
I
something?
think I got a lighter.
Yeah, I know you got a
see.
lighter.
What are you lighting?
Some Corona branded slip-ons.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah,
branded
that's
slides.
there.
Corona, out of this Corona or Corona Proper or Corona Premier?
Corona proper.
That's what Scott Hall wanted on the fucking European buses, dude.
Corona?
Less carbs, dude. Less carbs. Couldn't be drinking all that German beer.
Just Cool Ass Andy possibly join.
So you're possibly entering the Gauntlet. Who do you hope if you do get in the Gauntlet Friday? Who do you hope to get in there and fucking tangle with?
Who do I hope to tangle with? Well, I saw Sam, so I probably won't want to tangle with him.
Not
He's way
tangle
too
with Sam,
big.
all right,
Don't be
cool.
a coward,
I wouldn't
Andy.
be able
Come
to
on,
get
that's
him
not
over the
cool.
wall.
It's good. It's good.
Hey, it's not being coward. It's strategy.
It's good
on.
strategy.
It's strategy, man.
Hey, two legs. You know what's cool? Strategy.
Winning the gauntlet for the gold.
Not getting choke slammed by Sam. That's
and not
pretty
getting
cool.
thrown on top by the
Probably-
biggest guy in the match.
Yeah. I would probably say maybe Austin James if he's in the gauntlet.
Oh,
Just hang out with him.
Yeah.
Said slugger.
No pun intended. Calling his shot.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What
move,
if
calling the
Microman's
slugger out.
in the gauntlet for the gold? What are you gonna do if Microman's in the gauntlet for the gold?
Probably just step over him.
Oh, wow.
cool.
Good luck.
Pretty cool.
He'll
Yeah,
catch
I
your
mean-
foot and suplex you.
Yeah, I mean, if he bites my kneecap, that's game over.
So what's been going on in the world of cool ass Andy?
Not a whole lot. Just, doing cool things. Wake up in the morning, go work out, go to work.
Drive your T-top Camaro.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know how you guys are all wearing shorts. You guys must be cool because I'm I'm freezing.
How are you freezing is the question.
I'm just smoking.
kinda-
I started smoking cigarettes when I was like 10, so all my fucking circulation.
That's cool.
That sounds like a you problem, though.
I quit. Listen, cigarettes are bad. I don't smoke them anymore, but I did. So
You
that's
look
why I'm
cool when
always
you're
cool.
smoking.
No, that's the coolest thing you can do is smoke heaters,
So I've
dude.
been told.
That's what you got that lighter for, huh?
Oh, yeah.
How's the cool ass career going? You think?
I think it's been going pretty well. I haven't, despite the fact that I haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to show the people what I can do, the fact that I'm
Because we
there.
can't afford you.
It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn, you know?
It is a very slow burn.
Most expensive debut in history.
It's like going to the strip club. You don't, the first song you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Gotta
One
buy
would
a couple
hope.
dances.
One would hope. I've made that mistake one too many times. It wasn't that cool.
Oh, jeez.
Not cool.
That's not very cool.
Lost all my money one night.
I never been, but I can only assume.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, my wife forbids me from such places. I don't know what you're talking about. It's pretty cool. Being married.
So you
pretty
think
cool.
Pretty cool.
You think the career's going well though?
Yeah, I would say so. I got a lot of great opportunities ahead of me. Looking forward to see what the rest I can do. Looking forward to showing not just AIW, but the rest of the wrestling world what I'm capable of doing.
If people are looking to book you, how can they find you? What's a cool way to get a hold of you? Two-way pager?
Yeah, I think I've upgraded from a two-way pager.
Blackberry.
No, not a BlackBerry. I actually
Sidekick?
have an old school Nokia phone, one of
you
those
go.
indestructible
Little bar
ones.
phone?
Oh, wow.
Are you still on the North Coast PCS phone that only works in this county? Do you remember
Yeah, you
those
can't
phones?
leave Cuyahoga. Yeah,
You
yeah.
remember those phones? They only
Oh,
work
yeah.
in county.
And you can't be in a house. You have to be outside or it won't work.
North Coast PCS. You had to go to the mall strictly to pay for it too.
That's
Man, that's crazy.
All right, cool as Andy. So maybe we'll be seeing you Friday night. Give me the hard pitch, the 1 minute pitch of why you're going to win the Gauntlet for the Gold for the people to hear right now.
Why am I going to win the Gauntlet for the Gold? People may be asking themselves. One simple reason. I'm cool. Nothing else to it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in. I'm going to throw some bows.
Throw them
I'm going to
bows
throw some people over the rope.
over the rope.
And then I'm going to go to Absolution and win my first title.
Oh,
There it is,
Chuck
folks.
Stoner, Isaiah Broder better be scared.
You've heard it first. Chuck Stone, Isaiah Broner.
I don't know if I'd want to win after hearing that.
Eric Taylor, the tag jam. He could go after both
I guess he
tag
could go
jams.
after
You never know.
any-
That
No.
is a fair point. I don't just
Jesus.
have to go after Brona or
Brona.
Broner.
You should just get
Don't gotta go after
Did
Brona.
you get a New Jersey accent all of a
Chuck.
sudden? Or?
This is like playing that.
I was focused on the ladder that's in the
This
back
is like
of your
that
car
Kevin
right
Sullivan voicemail I played last week, and I didn't have to.
Yes, Calvin Sullivan 505.
Just gave it out again.
Oh shit!
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Danny. Thanks for jumping on with us, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
There we
All
go.
right, cool ass Andy.
Well, it's Andy possibly an entered in the
Possibly
gauntlet.
entering himself into the fray.
Not on the graphic.
This is what's up with the trunk.
So
pod,
who's
man.
on
He
the
could
graphic?
Get anybody
the
on
graphic's
these
got
things.
Sam. It's got members only.
Josh Bishop,
Josh Bishop,
Wes Barkley,
Wes Barkley,
Tyler Jordan,
Tyler Jordan,
Shaw Mason.
Shawn Mason.
I think that's it.
I don't think
Cool ass Andy, not on the graphic.
Not
so
on the graphic. Not an official entrant.
he's gonna have to politic
Well, we
by
know-
that bingo tumbler.
We know that Brian Carson's not going to be in it. He has said that he will not be in it.
Well, that only the people live at the Cybernetico
Yeah,
know that he
but
withdrew
no.
himself.
You know, they got to know. People got to know.
It's on the sheets. It hit the sheets.
It's
The dirt. You hit the dirt sheet.
It hit the sheets.
Dr. Dan also lost his opportunity to be in the Gauntlet for the Gold.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Did you
What a
see
choice.
that?
Dude, he scared
What
the
a choice.
shit out of me. He just sent me that picture and then didn't reply. I'm like, did you get into a car accident? Because he like races cars and shit. I'm like,
Yeah, I
did you
don't know
crash
what
the fucking
happened there.
car? His garage door.
Fell on his face or something.
Well, it broke. So you know those like old like the springs on the
Yeah.
garage door. One of them broke, so he was trying to undo the other one, I guess.
That's not safe.
Yeah, well, he thought he undid the tension. He's like, I thought I did the other side. I thought I did it good, because I didn't all the way, and he undid something, and the door was like, bam!
Yeah, it looks like he had a
went.
match against Josh Bishop.
Oh, it looks.
Shout out to Dr. Dan. Get well soon. I guess.
Yeah.
He probably will not be
Yeah,
entering the gauntlet.
he's gone.
He's not gone. He's just injured.
R.I.P. again.
He's got some
R.I.P.
stitches in his
R.I.P.
head.
again.
See you in 3 years, brother.
We did open it up to some questions in the Discord, like
we
we
go
always
over
do.
the car. We probably didn't.
We
go over
did
the
a
whole
little
card.
bit
We
of the
can
card.
go over all of
Just
the
run
card
it
if you
down
want.
real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
It's a hard sell. We got to sell those fucking tickets.
We do. We talked.
Too much on the fucking man of the street people walking by.
Do you want to talk about the dark match? We do have
Yeah,
a dark
yeah, you
match.
can go ahead.
We'll have the Nomi back versus Katie Arquette. We're gonna have Nomi versus Katie on the dark match.
This is just more of that experimentation, with the women's division. We want to see if, hey, maybe making this only available to the live crowd, will that kind of inspire people to arrive earlier? You know what I mean? We're going to have what we think is a pretty substantial turnout, hopefully, for the Kurt Angle meet and greet early. I would suggest people, if you can, getting to the building around like 5:45, 6 o'clock, so we can, we want to try to get the Kurt Angle meet and greet rolling closer to 6. And here's a kind of a thing that we're going to end up doing differently, because we do have a cap on time. He, even if the show begins, he's going to keep signing. You know what I mean? So the earlier you get there, the less of the show you're potentially going to miss.
Which is what you said, a perfect reason for selling those pre-sale meet and greet. Get those pre-sale, buy them up. That way you don't have to stand in line or, buy them when you get there.
There's 40 fast passes, too, if you really want to fucking skip the line and you're running late.
There you go. You're talking about, we're making a women's match.
That's for the big ballers, though.
We got a women's match on the card. We're kind of putting it exclusively at first, trying to help draw some people into the building early, which I think two big stars in our company. Nomi, a fast rising star in this company. People have been really clamoring for her to come back, and Katie, another female on the roster that I think has a lot of buzz. Get there early, get your fast pass get your Kurt Angle meet and greet done, and then get in the building for the dark match. I don't think there's anything better to do on a Friday than come out to AIW. I spend my whole damn day there. I love it. I don't know. We get some people that line up really early. I like that.
Yeah, we're just, again, we're just trying different experiments, right? Like, there's a lot. This card is pretty heavy, and, we're trying to develop that women's division, and find opportunities and put different, just different people out there and different matchups together. And Katie versus Gabby Forza, the Nomi, I think is a really great one, and I think that's something that should hopefully, in my opinion, kind of drive those people to get to the building early.
Yeah.
And, hopefully, stay all night, because the fucking show's packed. There are a few multiple surprises secured for the Gauntlet. So, we want people to be there all night. And, I think this is just... like I said, it's an experiment. We were experimenting with, multiple women's matches or different combinations, at the Mercury Lounge shows. Now we're going to continue that experimentation here on Friday night.
I think it's something it's a treat for the live show too. You got to be there live to see this.
Right.
The live show's getting rewarded.
And I think it's just hopefully a motivating factor, right, to get people out, because I do think sometimes there are benefits to streaming everything live, and there are also kind of cons to that. And I think the con to that is it is hard to get people to get up and get out of their house when they can just watch it at home on on Triller TV Plus. So we're just trying to add different things and incentives and make more unique experiences to get people to actually come out to the shows. And that was also some experimentation with not streaming the Mercury shows and things like that. So we're just trying to find that middle ground and continue to experiment with different things.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dustin? What do you think about the experimentation?
Experimentation. I think that a lot of the stuff that AIW's been doing lately has been good. Just trying to get. I've been trying to talk to people about like what has AIW been doing lately that is different than what they did before that you like. Like, I think there's plenty of things from AIW's past that people love. And,
I think it's just like,
but like,
and
what new has been going on that's been like, oh, that's pretty cool that you've been doing this.
I think it's kind of like there's also this thing to where it's like, and you see it with any sort of genre of entertainment. It's like, music was the best when I was this age, or what I mean? Like, I think there are people that are like, AIW was the best when it was at Peabody's, and then there's people that are like, AIW was the best when it was at Mount Carmel, or AIW was the best when it was at the Odeon. Like, I just think that I think people get kind of latched on to how things were, and they don't understand that we do have to evolve, and things change, and all these different factors that, we try to explain, probably more vaguely than in depth on this podcast because some stuff you just can't totally put out there, but there is just so much different things that have happened from those different eras, right? Like, Mount Carmel, there was no AEW. NXT was in its infancy, if it even really existed, so it's like
FCW
it was literally
time.
no, it was like its infancy, because you figure that was right after Hutter got released and he did the
Kevin Owens was still in the Turner's Hall era, and like he was kind of at the beginning of that whole thing, and then we moved to Mount Carmel right around there,
and that's like I said, Hutter got released from the Retribution,
right, and
then that's when we did
and that's Turner's Hall era, you know what I mean?
Well, no, that was when he got released after the first NXT, when he got released from Retribution, or no,
you're mixing it up.
No,
there's there's years in between.
I'm mixing it up.
Yeah, there's you're thinking
he was in TNA when we were in Turner's too still.
No.
Yeah, because there was one time
that you're thinking of the other Masonic Temple.
Oh.
Because one of the time when he had his TNA tryout, we actually flew him in for AIW, and he stayed and did a tryout at TNA. When they during the Hogan era.
Yes,
he did a dark match with his like American, whatever gimmick.
Derek Bateman gimmick.
But there's just different. I think people latch on to these different eras, and like there's just circumstances that have changed. Be it. There's multiple national companies now. You cannot get those talents like you used to anymore. There's less kind of game-changing talents out there. There's talented people, but less impactful compared to, those years. So it's like we're trying to do different experimentation. I actually talked to Josh Prohibition about this today. I said, with the way things are, much like everything else, at the end of the day, independent wrestling is just nothing more than content creation right now. Just like everything. And it all streams, and it's all oversaturated, and it's all so easily accessible now. Everything kind of just falls into that abyss. Just like when you're scrolling Netflix or, any streaming service, or you're on Spotify looking for new music. It all kind of blends into this abyss.
It's almost overwhelming to an extent.
Everything,
like you want to watch everything, but you don't watch anything at the same time.
Like independent wrestling falls into that too. Like independent wrestling is just as oversaturated, just as overwhelming, just as overaccessible as to before. It wasn't, and I think that there's this kind of debate among wrestlers, and like I think that before you had to travel, yes, to get better, but the main reason for traveling was to get seen, and now you can get seen like from your house. You know what I mean? So there's just different. There's so much evolution, and you always have to change the way you think and the things that we're doing. And it's like I see like fans that came during like even pre-Turners, like. Or maybe post-Turners, like pre-Turners, like the St. Greg's Church era, you know what I mean, in Lakewood, or like Peabody's or Mulberry's. Like, they came in these very, now what looks like infant years of AIW, right? And like they'll bring up something I said in 2007, and I'm just like, dude, it's 2024.
That was a long
like,
time ago.
you cannot you cannot look at my viewpoint from 2007 when like we had no money, like very minimal success, still successful for the area, but like not successful in any sort of other metric, and it's just like we're trying to make things work with like such a small budget. Like there's like an era there where I didn't even have a job for like 2 years, so like AIW shows are real bad, because like we're just running off of Biggins is what he's selling at buybacks, but
Payday loans and stuff.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. He found a way to make it work. I don't know, but I guess it's a long explanation of saying like I think we're doing some of our best stuff ever, but like people aren't giving it a shot because it does fall into that abyss of content creation that is like just even look at Triller TV Plus, right, or Fight, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's overwhelming to even just like, I want to watch a show. I want to watch something on here. It's like, it's just like everything else. Everything just kind of falls into this like content creation and like beefing up the what's available on these services, but it's not necessarily like being this gigantic platform for talent or promotion or anything. So that's why we're trying to, Chase is really trying to innovate things and how we do our presentation compared to everybody else. I just don't know that people are actually like giving it a shot. You know what I mean? Not to cut off what you're saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I've been asking a lot of fans who've been around for a while, like, hey, what are things that we're doing that like you notice that we're doing different that you like? Like because those are the things that I think are going to draw in newer crowds, like, and keep AIW. Like if an old AIW fan likes something new AIW,
right,
the core is still there, and that's what's important.
Like I know somebody like Adam Laporta probably like doesn't even watch.
Adam Laporta will be at Gauntlet for the Gold.
Oh,
he might be in the Gauntlet.
He might be.
I'll buy you a
like,
beer.
He's an example of somebody that was like a religious attendee, watcher, followed it. Life happens, pulls him away. I know he's not following it anymore. You know what I mean? Because it does fall into that just abyss of things, and then it's like, if you have a specific taste, like, not to put him on, Adam Laporta really likes deathmatch wrestling. You can seek out deathmatch wrestling
everywhere.
25 different fucking ways a week now. It's like that is something that has been beat to fucking shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of deathmatch wrestling. A lot of it. Yeah. What else is on the card, Pat?
Well, going forward on the card, we talked about it earlier.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
People are gonna like this pod.
Whenever we go long, people love. Believe me, people want to hear
long
us.
podcasts.
So.
It's just, I do feel, it's strange because like we have all this stuff that we'll eventually discuss way down the line of just like fucking total, just really just breaking spirit stuff.
Yeah.
And like I feel now that like we've kind of come out of it, at least for this week, and like just based on our big meeting that we had. I know, Dustin, you missed it. 2 legs, you weren't invited. But I just feel like more locked in, and I do feel like it has brought the group closer together. And that's the big thing I've been trying to kind of preach and get people on board with, is like, this is a team effort. This is a team. We have to go out. Like, people are not going to just come because it's us. Like, we got to go out and we got to get them and we got to show them and we got to continue. This is not like the Duke said something like this. I think you were at this meeting where he's like, shouldn't we be beyond having to do this stuff? And I said, maybe we should, but we aren't.
Yeah.
That's a fact. It's not a theory. It's a fact that we have to continue to go out and try to get every single possible person we can to watch what we're doing. And it takes so much more effort than it used to because there is so much competition. We're like, creating independent wrestling is like no different than creating a YouTube at this, like a YouTube vlog at this point. It's like,
and
it's all blending together, and you got to go out, you got to find your audience and get them.
It's also really hard with the live experience. Like, it's becoming more and more expensive to do anything, right? And like in Cleveland, you're going up against a $50 ballpark pass where you can buy for $50 a month. You can go to a Guardians game, any Guardians game you want. And are you going to spend $50 to go to every Guardians game that month, or are you going to spend $50 to go to AIW?
Right, and that's why we've been, we reduced those GA tickets and not by a lot, but we tweaked all of our tickets down at the Temple. They're the cheapest Temple tickets that we've had for the SummerSlam weekend because, I get it,
it's tough.
But I get the complaints and all this stuff, but what people don't get is those fees ain't going to us. You know what I mean? None of that shit's going to us. By us lowering tickets, it's just less money that we're getting. We get no benefit from the venue. We get no wrestler is giving us a better deal on their fee, or their transportation costs. We're trying to we're trying to do it just to be proactive to, and understanding to the fans. But it's tough, right? Because all of those expenses do continue to go up for us, and we're trying to keep things at a reasonable level because I do realize we're at this point to where it is am I gonna go? Can I really afford to go and do this?
Yeah.
And it's we're in the same boat, and we're trying to, rein things in for us. We're doing less shows this summer. There's a lot of stuff that is going to negatively impact AIW financially that we're trying to make easier on the consumer. And that's why I just hope that we can get people more engaged. We're doing all this stuff through Patreon. We're trying to do all these different things to kind of cater to our core, because I feel like our core is, it is paramount for everything.
You trying to say that Kurt Angle didn't lower his rate because he heard you lowered G8 tickets? He didn't give you that brother rate because we lowered the mezzanine section.
Maybe Eric Angle.
Yeah, I mean, no, that didn't happen. And I mean, it doesn't happen for anybody. You know what I mean?
I'm just making a joke.
Fucking Big Sam, he didn't fucking lower that rate.
He didn't even give us the brother rate. Going for speaking of Big Sam. That was the replacement for Eddie Kingston. Unfortunately, had to pull off due to AEW priorities. It is what it is.
And listen, as soon as I don't know if it was always the plan or whatever, but this was confirmed in December.
And you said you just confirmed again recently, just last week.
I confirmed every kind of few weeks. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. AEW was even covering the travel.
Oh, wow.
And then it just. I don't know if he was always supposed to be in this match or whatever, but, he got announced for that pay-per-view, and then things changed, and, he has obligations now in Las Vegas that Friday, for media and different things, and, you can't fault him, right? That's who's paying the bills, right? He was trying to do it as a favor, as a makeup for, having to pull out for being injured in September, and, He assures me he's going to make it up, one way or the other down the road. He really tried to make it work, and, just based on needing to be on two opposite sides of the country at basically the same time. Yeah. It just, he had to do it.
It's tough, but we are going to get Big Sam Holloway versus Josh Bishop. I think that's going to be an incredible match. Like you said, it was Big Sam's debut match. We're going to get to see him run that one back. Real excited for that one.
Yeah, and I just think it's just hey, let's just let two of our guys go out there. No, no reins, no fucking rules, no anything. Just go out there and just rip it up and, put kind of a best foot forward situation, try to make it.
Another real steal the show type match,
right? Think about when Phoenix pulled off, and that's when Josh and Justice went off the balcony, and they wanted to take this, whatever this awful thing and try to turn it into a positive for the show. And I think Josh and Sam, I'm not saying they're going off the balcony, but I think they're entering it with a similar mentality of we have to over deliver for AIW.
Sure, and I think Sam's been in a position too where he's been in a handful of some four-ways, some scrambles here and there, and he's been wanting to mix it up singles, and now you're getting an opportunity with a guy like Josh Bishop. Two behemoths going to get in there and do battle. I think that's like Dustin said, that they're going to go out there and try and steal the show. I feel like every match on this card is going to try that.
And we're also running back. This time no titles or anything involved, but Wes Barkley and Derek Dillinger, doing that in the Temple, on the big stage, they had a great feud last year, I think, and I think that this is just another one of those sure thing matchups that you can put out there. And Wes always pulls a big following when it comes to shows in the Cleveland area. Derek has really established himself as one of the the marquee AIW cornerstone talents. And I think that these two have great chemistry together. They had one of my favorite matches at Absolution when they did that. What did they do? They did like
the door spot.
Yeah, like they just had so much like innovative stuff that they did. I'm just I don't know. I'm just really looking forward to it. I think it was one of the the best kind of undercover feuds and matchups that we had on the lineup last year, and I think it's one of those things that like I said, this show maybe could have used one last match, but fuck it, they're all good.
I think they're two guys who I could watch Wes and Derek wrestle each other a million times. It's almost sort of in the vein of the J Pro M Dog.
My mentality with putting this show together is the hope that Kurt Angle and just the Prohibition retirement and all that is going to bring people in, and my idea is to look at this almost like an infomercial for AIW. It's like, these people got you here, this show's what's going to bring you back. That is my hope. Obviously you can never guarantee that, but that's kind of my hope with this whole thing, is like I'm putting the AIW infomercial out there.
It's definitely putting your best foot forward, I would say. You're trying to put matches on the card that we think, showcase how great of a company AIW is. And I think, like you said, we've seen this one before, but I think that's one Derek and Wes are going to go out there and give it all they got as well. Going forward, there's going to be a 3-on-3 match, kind of newly formed little stable here. Dom Guarini with Bax, Sidney Von England, and Zay Garcia. You calling them Dax now?
Yeah, Dax Shepard.
Taking on Team Shaw. You got Shaw Mason, Filthy Tom Lawler, and Tyler Jordan. Dom and Shaw have a little love quarrel, I would call it.
Lover squirrel.
Going
about that.
No, I'm just kidding. But, a little teacher-student action going on, and this time they're bringing some friends with them.
Yeah, this is just another one. I think it's, has all the makings of, being a great 3-on-3, 6-man tag, whatever you want to call it. Obviously some bad blood there between Dom and Shaw. The other four are just kind of, collateral damage along for the ride here, in my opinion. But I think, whenever Filthy Tom's involved, you just never know what you're going to get.
Tyler Jordan, first time he's going to get in a ring or be around Filthy Tom Lawler, even as a tag team partner.
I'd say luckily he's on the same team.
Tyler Jordan, I don't think Tyler Jordan's ready for something like that.
He might make out with him.
I know.
Speaking of lovers, yeah.
He's made out with Shaw Mason.
He's wild, man.
Is that right?
The Wrestle Rager.
Oh, man.
Remember, he kissed him on the mouth, and
Filthy Tom kissed a lot of people.
and
at Wrestle Rager.
Shaw Mason had to go out and kiss his girlfriend in the crowd because he felt uncomfortable.
Man, one time Tom kissed a lady in the front row or something, and his wife posted it on Instagram. His wife somehow got a picture of it and said, "I wish my husband would look at me the way he kisses this stranger in a wrestling crowd."
Was it CPA? Because he kissed him a few times that day. Going forward in the card, we got Money Shot versus To Infinity and Beyond for the title for the AIW Tag Team Straps.
I think this is going to be Money Shot's biggest test for sure.
I mean, you got to think To Infinity and Beyond. We've touted them on this podcast as the triple crown of the tag team realm in AIW. I mean, those guys have been everywhere, done it all. So I would have to think that this is easily Money Shot's biggest test for sure.
And I think people are just sick of Money Shot anyway. So I think this may be one of those situations, these rare situations where you see Colin and Cheech get cheered, because I think people would like to see the tag division kind of return to form with them, at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, and not just that, To Infinity and Beyond were that tag team that people were just sick of seeing win, sick of seeing have the titles.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're on the other side of it.
It's long-term storytelling, brother.
Amen.
There you go. I'm excited to see Cheech get cheered.
Wish somebody would watch them.
Going forward, we do.
Fortunately, our movies are only at the fucking red box where nobody's going.
Tubi.
We have a four-way classic AIW four-way scramble. Dex Royal versus Alec Price versus Marino Tenaglia versus Mikey Montgomery.
Man, this show is fucking
banger.
stacked.
Yeah, I mean,
banger.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, we just keep going forward in the card, and everything we've read out is just like, man, like we kind of talked about the last show at the Temple, how stacked of a card that was. I feel like we're just, you're on a run here, John. Which
Told you I'm on a run, and this is the AW infomercial.
This is going to be a match.
That's a match of the year candidate.
Yeah. I hope. God, I hope.
If those guys come to play.
Dex, a guy who, high flying guy who's received a lot of praise and a lot of high praise in AIW.
Hopefully this match is going to take us from PW Ponderings to the Wrestling Observer, brother.
That's right.
Alec Price, a guy who you said pound for pound is, one of the best guys.
I think he's the best unsigned wrestler on the map right now as far as unsigned talents go. I think he is the guy for sure. I think Dex Royal is, you give him another 6 months to a year, is going to be right in the mix there. I know that he's doing, obviously our shows. He's doing Black Label, unfortunately, but also fortunately, he cannot do Absolution. He's going down to the SCI weekend, so he's starting to kind of get his name out there, and he's traveling. He's one of those guys that will drop everything and travel anywhere, and I think you're going to see, in a year from now, you're going to see him in a lot of different places, and you could say the same about Mikey Montgomery. I think he's really come into his own, since, breaking up with Eric Taylor. And, Marino Tenaglia and Philly Collins both, kind of at this spot to where maybe they feel, this is a time for them to kind of go their separate ways. I don't know, if Philly Collins wins that intense title, that's probably going to be it for PME for a while. So I think Marino's taken this opportunity to kind of, dip his toes in as a singles wrestler. And, this is kind of our... we've seen it, at the Mercury shows and very rarely throughout AIW. But, so I think, this may be our first look at a world in which PME is no more as a tag unit. And, this is kind of our, look at what PME looks like as singles performers.
Yeah, because, like you said, we talked to him earlier in this podcast, but Eric Taylor going to do battle with Philadelphia Collins, and that's
King Philly.
King Phil could be coming.
Let's bring signs back. I want to see a big King Phil banner in that mezzanine section.
Yeah,
King Phil.
Philly the King.
I don't know how much really needs to be said about this match. Eric Taylor's been on quite the run here as Intense champion, but Philadelphia came in and gave you his opinion and his thoughts earlier in the pod.
What do you think about this world of PME in the singles world?
PME in the singles world? Well, it's honestly like, if you look back at the singles matches that they've had, yeah, as tag team, they've been fantastic, but like Marino always shows up. In Philly, his matches against Broner, bangers. Like, that's, as singles competitors, they're very good.
Yeah, I mean, they have their own singles music. They have had a handful of singles, matches. So they're neither strangers.
Is a point, though. This is a point where I feel like this could be a definitive end for PME.
Right.
Is,
Very well could be.
They've been at it for a long time, and King Phil walks out with that intense title,
and Marino wins the 4-way. Yeah.
Historically,
whoever wins the scramble gets the intense title shot.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to think there could maybe, King Phil gets the, if say he does get that strap, there could be a little bit of jealousy from Marino. Hey, you got a chance at the belt.
I got you in the best shape of your life. I got you and here it is.
Yeah, and I mean, that this would be, Philadelphia's second title shot, and Marino could, maybe possibly have some feelings about that, and we could see PME versus each other. That could
ascension in the rakes.
Oh,
it is Absolution season. It is Absolution season coming up.
Making movies.
Keeping going forward, we have another title. We have the Absolute title, Isaiah Broner, the champion, versus Big Chuck Stone.
We kind of already talked about this a little earlier.
Just
I think that I really think that they got a lot to prove for sure.
And then another match we already discussed kind of at length here was the M-Dog versus J-Pro. And then you got the Gauntlet match. So 10 matches in all, including the dark match. So I think, we lowered the tickets, like you said, up in the GA. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, this is definitely a card to come out and see. We got Kurt Angle. The Gauntlet match, there's going to be some surprises. The Gauntlet match is always a good time. Who doesn't love a good Gauntlet? 30 wrestlers in, 30 out.
And Gauntlet for the Cash will be popping at the door. See Pedro. If your number wins, anybody that plays the Royal Rumble game at home, you win the money.
That's
Fall up for the cash.
That's what I hate most about now being an employee is I can't gauntlet for the damn cash.
Your
It's
money's
bullshit.
still good.
Yeah, your money still plays.
Oh,
there,
last-
brother.
I'm doing it. Last year I was told I was
Your money's
ineligible.
still good.
I'm getting in there.
You don't
Hell
got
yeah.
you don't got to line up.
It's true.
You don't got to shoot.
We don't know who's going to win.
It's true. I also just pick a number, so regardless, you know what I
Right.
mean?
It's just, we got some questions.
Yeah, so we do have some questions in the Discord. A couple people. If you want to ask questions to the podcast, join the Patreon, get in the Discord. We take them all for every podcast. Russell Williams wants to know, will the Fonzie Championship become a defended title if the tournament doesn't happen this year?
I don't know, to be honest. We kind of were formulated that show around, working with the Great Lakes Geek Fest, and they still have not replied to me. So, I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I haven't put much thought into that one. So that's kind of like, we'll figure it out. It's probably somewhere down the line.
Okay. Rip City Pharmacist Mike Trombetta wants to know, will any of the GCW talent be included in the AIW Against the World show that's happening SummerSlam weekend?
I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know.
Card has not been filled out yet, so you'd have to keep asking on that one. But they want to know. Some people in the Discord want to know. Jose wants to know. They want an AIW T-shirt, a new AIW T-shirt. Maybe it's something you can put in the shop. I'm an AIW faithful, or some sort of AIW slogan for the SummerSlam weekend to kind of show people into coming into town, or just kind of showing everyone that that they're an AIW kind of fan.
Well, we need a good slogan.
Yeah,
right?
we got to come up with something.
Slogan contest in the Discord.
Yeah,
You
they're
guys need to
kind
buy
of.
the old shirts, what you guys need to do.
They are.
We got plenty of those.
Gotta liquidate. Gotta liquidate.
If you come up with a slogan, maybe we'll slap it on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I am an AIW faithful. Is it?
Kane Dookie, that was the one I came up with. Sold like 2 of them.
shout out to Pam. I think she bought both of them.
Erskilles wanted to know about the replacement for Eddie. We kind of already talked about that. Obviously, going to be Sam versus Big Josh. Here's another one. Russell wants to know, if you could bring in one wrestler or tag team all time to be a full-time wrestler roster member, for 6 months to like a year, who would it be? If you could bring in, I'm guessing he's thinking anyone, anywhere, any tag team or any one wrestler to bring in to be an AIW roster member for a 6-month run, who would you bring in?
Dead or alive?
Let's go Dead or Alive. Yeah, fuck it.
Kona Crush.
Kona Crush.
solid one.
Interesting.
Or the Bam Bam.
Or the Big Boss Man.
Or Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man would be a good
one.
one.
I mean, there's plenty.
Chris Candido.
There's a zillion, but I always, that's always kind of my joke to Pedro and Dom is, man, fucking Kona Crush would just be tearing it up right now.
Trombetta wants to know when we're going to see Paul London again. That's a great question. Cosmic Cactus.
Could be on the Gauntlet.
You might see him Friday, to be perfectly honest. Spoiler. But Paul London has actually been texting me quite a bit because Paul Walter Hauser has reached out to him asking him how to get into AIW.
That's incredible.
To do a match, specifically maybe with Parking Lot Paul, since he's become so infamous here in AIW. He reached out to Paul wanting to wrestle him or do something with him here in AIW. And Paul presented that idea to me a few days ago, which I know you guys were aware of.
Yeah.
So we are looking, I gave him our schedule. We're waiting to hear back. I guess he's going to Australia with Mark Wahlberg for a couple months.
Oh, shit.
So
Me too.
it's kind of on the,
Oh, mate.
it's one of those things that's kind of in the mix. And then, I sent him some of our, dates later in the year as well. But, Paul London is also trying to wrestle the other Paul, Emmy Paul. So,
I love
Parking Lot Paul versus Emmy Paul.
Man, that would be cool. That kind of did it for the questions.
That's it? We didn't have any more? I thought we had some
No,
more.
they were workshopping a name in there. There's a lot of posts.
workshopping.
I think some of them had multiple questions. You didn't just read them all. I could have swore I saw more questions in there.
Trombetta also wanted to know what happened to the Arcadia kid. I didn't know how much you wanted to talk about that.
K Arcadia, it's eye for an eye. Right before the Jason Bain thing, which he was going to kind of be in the middle of that fray. He got some like really bad personal tragedy news with a death in the family. And he had to leave immediately, obviously, and I think he's in the position to where he's got to kind of step up and help out his family as they get through some things. So he's kind of stepped away from wrestling based on that personal stuff.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that was kind of it. Like I said, they were kind of trying to brainstorm a name for the AIW shirt they're talking about.
Yeah.
So
let's see. We got My Religion is AIW. One of the Faithful is on here. That's all I'm seeing.
Yeah, we didn't miss any questions, but if you want to ask a question, get in the Discord, join the Patreon.
I did see one about asking about guests or something.
I think that was kind of along the same line as the GCW shows. The talent going to be the same? They had asked about. Will the Against the World have a similar guest to main roster ratio as the first Against the World show? On that show, there were 7 to 8 guests, so I was guessing maybe like
show.
a GCW.
I don't know. I mean, we're kind of looking at it in the same vein as that because it's so close to Absolution. We figured that we did need some kind of hook, and we are going to kind of be playing to maybe audiences that don't come to AIW, so we are looking at maybe doing more of that guest-driven stuff. But to be perfectly honest, we just kind of whipped this together, in this concept to just get tickets on sale. And, we're going to kind of fill it in as we get closer. I would imagine we will have a lot of people at our disposal being Thursday as opposed to, Friday, Saturday. So we're kind of looking at that. We have to obviously, workshop, who's going to be on and then, price people out and things like that. But it's kind of in that realm. It might be like, like I've talked about on this podcast, we've seen fees get crazy.
Yeah.
Might be a little less than 8 guests. Might be like a half and half.
So I'm looking at the Against the World card right now for 2016. A lot of bangers on this.
Yeah. It's a good show.
It's a couple of people you can't talk about anymore, but a lot of bangers on this.
Yeah. There's one full match you can't talk about. I know that.
That's pretty much.
But I mean, we're just it's kind of the concept we're going for. Again, looking at that AIW kind of infomercial sort of mentality, but I do realize with it being a SummerSlam weekend, we do have to kind of get outside of our comfort zone in our box and kind of cater to the crowds that are coming in. So we are going to try to get maybe some more familiar indie or just available names for that weekend.
Right. All right. Well, anything you guys want to get to before we get out of here? We've been going for quite a while here, almost hitting 2 hours here. It's one of our longest ones.
Hard sell is right.
It's hard selling it. I think the people, we had a very good, positive reaction to the last one, the Parking Lot Pod. It's kind of what we're going to try to do going forward here, in the summer months, kind of get out here, maybe get a little bit more, the students and people like that, coming
I like
up
the
to
man
train.
on the street.
Yeah.
Just pull people in.
Just never know, yeah.
Hey,
Cool as Andy didn't know what the fuck.
no
to do.
idea. He was scared.
Yeah,
I wish Tyson Riggs went inside. I was real upset.
I was trying to get him over too. I was doing it like I'm summoning a waiter. I'm just fucking putting my hands up and
Get over here.
doing the two finger fucking pull over. Hey, come here.
All right, well,
Check, please.
come check us out this week, May 24th at the Masonic Temple Live, Gauntlet for the Gold 17. We got Kurt Angle. We got the Gauntlet for the Gold match. We got Josh Prohibition's retirement match.
All remaining tickets, $15. They are gonna, stop you at the door, and charge you at the box office. So you might as well just buy them on Ticketmaster or go down to the box office on Thursday, the day before, in the evening.
There you go.
And they'll reduce some of the fees for you.
There you go. Anything you guys want to say before we get out of here?
I'll be at the show.
Yeah, let's sell some
What else
fucking
we gonna
tickets.
Sell some tickets. We'll see
Josh,
everybody
here.
Friday.
Josh Prohibition wants 1,000 people in there. I think that's a little ambitious.
Yeah.
I think that's a little ambitious.
I think 800 is the number.
Yeah, I would like
like
to
800.
I would like to just beat the last one.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that.
Just keep building.
All right, well, we'll see everybody this Friday, May 24th at Masonic Temple Live for Gauntlet for the Gold 17. For Dustin Alberti, for John Thorne, for AIW, and myself, thanks.